How we doing today? My name is Spectrum Dominus, and today we are sorting cards for grading purposes. Now, if you've been watching the series, you know that 3 videos ago we had, it's even labeled in YouTube as worst sort ever or worst stack ever, something like that. And that's because we opened a box, a small 300 card box, something like that. And it had a bunch of random cards in it that we didn't know what it was. That's what we're doing on this video. And we just pulled out half and went through them. And we did not find a single card worth keeping. It was a full trash pile. And for those of you new to the channel, nothing is trash unless it's severely damaged. But trash means it goes over to get put in team sets and stuff like that. So it was a pure trash pile, nothing worth keeping, nothing worth grading or selling individually or going in my PC, nothing like that. And it was all 1989 tops and 1990 tops. Well, the second half of that box is here today. We're going to finish it out. I'm going to fly through it real quick. Hopefully this will be a short video of me just going through those cards. I expect 0 cards pulled. So if you are really looking for the great cards, if you're here to support, great. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for letting it run. Thank you for commenting. Go ahead and tell me how shitty these cards are in the comments below. But if you're really just looking for the content and you're looking for me to pull something great, this is not the video for you. I suspect, for all I know, I'm going to pull an 89 tops traded Ken Griffey Jr. rookie out of it. And I'll be like, oh shit, I was wrong. So feel free to move on to the next one if that's the case. But we're going to go through this quick and move on to the next video. So here we go. Starting off with, okay, I'm leaving. My chat is like, I'm out. Dale McCormick, Yvonne Calderon, Greg Booker, Eric Plunk, Todd Worrell, John Morris, it's not John Morrison, Tony Pena, Jimmy Key, Tom Hinkie, Greg Minton, Herm Winningham, Nick Eske, Rob Murphy, Tim Burstas, Tom Browning, Bill Schroeder, Lloyd McClendon, Zane Smith, Jim Acker, Rick Shue, Russ Nixon, Dave Henderson, Jeff Robinson, Renee Gonzalez, Mike Bilecki, Rick Dempsey, Chuck Krim, Don Zimmer, Rex Hudler, Mark Williamson, Mark Thurmond, Mackie Sasser. Oh, well, there you go. There you go. I lied. Randy Johnson. This is an early Randy Johnson. Now, it's not a rookie. He has an 89 tops Expo card, and then he has an 89 tops traded where he got traded to the Mariners, which is his rookie. Both are his rookies. So this is a second-year card, but still, that is a guy to collect. Nice. Big Louis Polonia, big unit himself is what I was reading in chat, and then Louis Polonia, and I said Big Polonia. Wes Gardner, Sid Fernandez, Ken Obertfeld, Juan Samuel, Roger Craig, Mike Lacrosse, Doug Jones, Junior Ortiz, Greg Harris, John Smiley, upside down John, Mike Boddicker, Sid Bream, Dave LaPointe, Lance McCullers, and Brooks Jacoby. All right, that's 1/4 of them already down, guys. We're going fast. But this is why we go through it. This is why we do it. I don't want that card lost to nothingness. It needs to go into my PC, and if it's already in my PC, it needs to make sure that it gets to someone that needs that card rather than just into trash. Gene Nelson, Sean Hilligus, Barry Jones, Fred Manrique, Mike Diaz, Jerry Rios, Chuck Finley, Chili Davis, Indians leader with Jack Clark. Does it say? It doesn't say. I like the 1 year that it said who was on the front there. Bud Black, Bruce Sutter, BJ Surhoff, Paul Ostermacher, Andres Thomas, Rick Mahler, Mike Burbeck, Reds leader with Eric Davis on the cover. Joe Morgan. Braves leaders with a bunch of non-worth-knowing Braves. No, that's Mark Lemke. That's Mark Lemke. Bob Walk. Jeff Russell. Man, I wish I was into baseball like I was back here. The fact that I could look at that and say, I know that's Mark Lemke. Jeff Russell. Bill Swift. Gino Petrelli. And no, it's not from Heroes. Jerry Reed. Andy Van Slyke. Don Carmen. Tom Niederfer. Kevin McReynolds. Pat Combs, who was turning my cards upside down. Pete Incavilla. Dave Righetti. Norm Charlton. Joe Morgan. Lee Smith. Ron Oyster. Henry Cotto. Mike Jackson. Dion James. Alfredo Griffin. Mike Young. Terry Kennedy. Tim Burke. Mark Davis. Tim Leary. John Shelby. Larry McWilliams. Shawan Dunston. Tony Fernandez. Eric Show. Drew Hall. Jim Traber. Alfredo Griffin. Bill Duran. Barry Lyons. Larry Sheets. And Joe Orsulak. That's halfway through, guys. Halfway done. All right. Next stack. Next half stack. Or I guess quarter stack. Here we go. Mike Jackson does play for the Panthers now. That's after his stint in basketball. I think he went from baseball in the late 80s, 90s, early 90s to late 90s, 2000s. He went to basketball, and now he's playing in the NFL. So Juan Samuel, Willie Frazier. We got, that's Glenn Davis for the Astros. Dave Meads. We got Angels leaders, Chili Davis, I think. Larry Anderson, Alan Ashby. There was someone under Alan Ashby there. Pat Perry, Joe Price, Bob Brentley, Tim Wallach, Jeff Parrott, Pascual Perez, Marvin Freeman, Jay Tibbs, Gary Varsho, Mike Felder, Dan Plesac, Mookie Wilson, Lee Mazzilli, Greg Gross. That's gross, man. Oh, that is gross. What is all that? Terry Leach, Wally Backman, Daryl Miller, Tony Armas, Ken Daly, Bob Nipper, Ron Darling, Phil Bradley, Jim Clancy, Todd Frothworth, Jim Musselman, Mark Portugal, Tom Herr, Moose Dubing, Manny Lee, Dwayne Bruce, Rick Leach, Jerry Brownie, Tom Kelly, Jack Lazorko, Denny Walling, Shane Raleigh, Tom Filler, Luis Polonia, Manny Trio, Scott Sanderson, Mitch Webster, Vance Law, Ron Guidry, Doc Edwards, Jay Bell, Terry Francona, Andy Allison, Tom Niederfuhr, Mike Morgan, Rod Nichols, Pat Sheridan, Tom Candiotti, Brad Havens, Tony Phillips, and Stan Javier. Final little stack. Let's get one more. Come on, guys. Let's get one more. You can do it. Look, we'll split it into 2 stacks. Now we have more cards. Keith Moreland, Ranch McCullens, Ron Hassey, Dickie Thon, Glenn Braggs, Randy Reddy, Expos leader with Tim Rock Raines, Blue Jays leader with Kelly Gruber, I believe, Jesse Barfield, Rich Dodson, Jimmy Jones, Scott Bankhead, Brian Harper, Keith Atherton, Tim Tuffle, Gerald Young, Bob Forsch, Mike Sosha, Mike Moore, Darnell Coles, Steve Jeltz, Jim Snyder, Willie McGee, Joey Meyer, Jim Liedeman, Fred Tolliver, Danny Gladden, Tim Loudner, Teddy Higuera, Rick Roden, Al Leiter, Yankees leader with Willie Randolph and Chili Davis, Steve Shields, Ken Phelps, John Tudor, Tim Cruz, Buddy Bell, Mark Eichhorn, Kurt Young, Ken Caminetti, Jim Leland, Bo Diaz, Mike Gallego, Bill Long, Greg Walker, Tommy John, Dallas Green, Ron Kittle, Luis Aguayo, Don Slott, Tracy Jones, Otis Nixon, Ron Kittle, Gene Walter, Mike Kingerly, Jesse Orozco, Steve Lombardozzi. That guy's name reminds me of the Brooklyn Brawler. Him and the other one. There's two. There's him and the other one, and between the two of them, Gary Gaetti. Ooh, we're pulling that for Shane. Guillermo Hernandez, Walt Terrell, and Mike Henneman. How many Tommy Johns did Tommy Johns get? That is a great question. All right, guys, we pulled a total of 2 cards. I don't even know where last week's cards went because we pulled a Gary Gaetti last week for him too. We pulled a Gary Gaetti for Shane the Bartender, Twins fan that I pull anyone Gary Gaetti level or better. That's a twin that I am not keeping myself. And then, of course, Randy Johnson. That is actually in pretty good shape considering where it was. I mean, it's in damn good shape considering where it was. And it's going into my PC. So, 2 cards. Thank you very much. It was totally worth it going through 2 videos to get Randy Johnson into my PC. It's totally why I do this. It is. I will see you guys in the next video where we will be doing the second third, actually the first third, but of the 1988 Score factory set. So no dupes, definite stars, guaranteed stars. In fact, the first card will be the biggest card for me in the set. But I will see you guys then. Have a good night.